Welcome back, world, to another episode of the No Suits Podcast. I am your boy Spence. This is my boy Krim. We coming to you live every Monday with your latest updates and your sports news topics. We got a lot of different things going on this week. Of course, we got an off week of football. If y'all watch the Pro Bowl, you know why I say we have an off week of football because I don't know what was going on, but so we don't have any football, so we're gonna talk some NBA. We got the trade deadline coming up on Thursday?
Yeah, on the 10th.
On the 10th. So we got the 10th coming, and the trade line deadline will accompany it.
Yes, sir.
We got a couple people that might be on the move, like Ben Simmons and big names like Ben Simmons and James Harden. What you think about this James Harden thing, though? Like, what's up?
Hey, bro, that's a great question. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Man, they said this man's frustrated in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, that's supposed to be almost like a dynasty that they were building, have a James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, you know what I mean, and these other pieces. And when I first heard, I'm like, wow. My first instinct, I'm not gonna lie, is that maybe he kind of could be upset with his usage. You know what I mean? Like, dude have his lowest points per game that he have, I think, since he left Oklahoma. So he in his lowest points per game, you know what I mean? In his transition to Brooklyn. I don't know if that's a testament to, his usage being way down, which it should be, or is he really, drying up with the shot? I don't believe that's the case. I just think that it's interesting from the standpoint, because I think he like and want to be there, or from a good standpoint, just from the overall, like I think I should be here to win. Right. But it's like I also want to have my accolades. Not to mention, though, I can see how frustrated it could be if the reason was the Kyrie. Like, think about, it's me, my boy, and Kyrie. I'm like, damn, we about to be running it up. And this man Kyrie, instead of having like a big 3, have a big 2.5. Kyrie that half the time.
Hey, that's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, look, it's so much to deal with other than just hooping. So I don't know. It's crazy to think about. What you think about it?
Man, I really don't know what to think about it. After I heard about it, of course, I wanted to see what was going on. So I did some modern day research, and I hop on Google, and all I see is Steve Nash saying that they're not trading him, and that, the rest of the article is saying that James Harden is happy to be in Brooklyn. And I'm not too sure, after looking at his contract, that don't got something to play into it. He really has a lot of the power after this year as far as his future and where he can go. Well, I won't say that because I won't get too deep in, because the salary cap. So he'll have the option, but teams gonna have to do some moving around to be able to accept James Harden. Because I think only 3 teams, the Pistons and 2 other teams that aren't, too good, have the cap space to even bring him on. So I think that have a lot to do with him now being happy to just be in Brooklyn, because it's better than being, in some of them other places. But I don't see why he wouldn't be happy in Brooklyn. But I did tell you about James Harden a minute ago, and that's just what it is.
What you talking about?
I was telling you, he can't be made happy. It's like, or it seems like he can't be made happy.
I feel you. I mean, like I said, the situation, if it is like, say, a Kyrie thing or just the circumstances, I could kind of understand it. If I'm Steve Nash, I'll say the exact same thing. I don't care what the truth is. James Harden's happy to be here. We're gonna work it out. We're not trading. I mean, at the end of the day, why would you trade him? To bring on
Trading.
To, like, say, a Ben Simmons is another high person in this NBA trade deadline that the 76ers looking actively to move for a James Harden. If I'm the Nets, I'm trading somebody that can actually get open, shoot, drive everything. And yeah, Ben Simmons is a facilitator, but it's like, this man can't shoot. That's a big part of the game. And it's like,
right. And I have to play against him, because
I have to play against him. Exactly. Not only is that, it's almost that revenge tour, but it's like, what are we gaining with a Ben Simmons besides not, limiting our offense? what are we really gaining out of this? And somebody that, I see him causing headaches in Philly. We have a headache already in a Kyrie. Well, I'm trying to bring in another one. You know what I mean?
He said, we got a headache already.
We got a headache already, dog. I mean, trade him. Trade him. I'm trying to really compare and contrast because what if he just leave and then you get nothing from him? You know what I mean? Like, that's always an option. But
yeah, that is an option. I think they just got to trust it, because I don't think you're in a point right now where you can get any good compensation back for him.
Yeah,
that would be better than seeing him finish at least this season out as a Brooklyn Net. I think whatever you get back won't be as good as that. So I'd say run it out if I'm them, run it out. And if James Harden decides to lead the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, they still have Kyrie and KD. They'll be all right. Well, I guess, like you said, they got half of Kyrie.
They got half of Kyrie, and
they got half of Kyrie, but
they got some.
You said
pieces.
What?
They really
they got KD.
Pieces. That's all the piece you need, huh?
Yeah, they got KD. So at the end of the day, they gonna be all right. So I think I hope James Harden just stick it out, bro. You just got to stick it out. It's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. You got Corona over here. You got Kyrie over here. And so, yeah, it's different. But I think all this will pass. And when you get them all three together,
yeah,
I think that's, he just got to be I feel like if this is true, I think he just got to be patient. But I'm not really sure how true it is, to be honest. It might be one of them things where your reputation. I did just say that James Harden, can't be made happy, but it could be a situation where, since that's his past, maybe people are spinning things now, because I didn't, in all honesty, to be fair, I didn't hear James Harden say that he wanted to be traded. Every article I read said that he wanted to be in Brooklyn. He's happy in Brooklyn. So just to have that out there as well.
That's very true. That's a very good point. I do just want to bring up the aspect of, we know the saying, if you ever play sports, they say winning kills everything, right? Regardless of what's going on in the locker room, teammates, whatever. But imagine they're in a heated battle in the Eastern Conference Finals, and New York still got these laws, whatever. Brooklyn is a Game 7. They going to Game 7. Now Brooklyn don't have Kyrie because of he can't play at home. It's like those type of situations.
That is wild.
Well, somebody. I didn't even think about, actually I'm going to the playoffs, having to compete, going back and forth to, it's like half of the time you're not going to be here. So, I mean.
Yeah, I didn't think about it going to Game 7 and them having
their
home court, bro. Like, bro, what y'all gonna do? What? I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't get it, but the whole trying to get say if they're trying to just get compensation, then the most lucrative thing would be to get Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, but adding 80 M's on top of that contract is just goofy. Plus,
yeah, they gotta everybody at this point, especially in the East, just need to run with what they got, bro. Like, the team you have is the team you need to have through the end of the year, at least in the East. I really think it's that way across the NBA. I just hadn't thought about it, but in the East, bro, just run with what you got. Of course, besides Ben Simmons. But I don't even see a trade for him out there, because I feel like everybody's team is. I mean, I think teams can be better, but the people that are likely to be traded, I don't think make anybody better.
I feel like there's
any of the likely trade destinations is better. My bad.
I can see that. The frenzy that they're having right now, it's almost like players are going to teams that's really not going to even do a crazy big impact. Like, for example, Cavaliers are having a decent season. It's like, let's go get LeVert. And it's like, why are we doing this? Because, I mean, honestly, Cavs, you're not going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're not going to do this or anything. So it's like teams are, just grabbing players in a frenzy. It's like, what are we doing here? And then, they have these blockbuster type deals. So we're going to see how it play out.
They don't think that, though. We also got to remember that We don't think the Cavs going, but the people in their organization think that they nice.
They don't think that, bro.
they think they nice, so they think they making moves. It's yet to be seen if those moves will,
amount
help.
to anything.
Those are the words I was looking for.
Hey, bro, that we're gonna see it. It's gonna be exciting leading up to that Thursday because I think more moves gonna be made and everything.
Yeah, the NBA gonna keep it live.
They definitely are. With that, it'll be crazy if we see breaking news. James Harden's getting shipped to Philly. Like, imagine them going together against each other in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, that'll be crazy.
Crazy.
That'll be crazy.
But we're gonna wait and see. But another, some other things have been making moves. NFL coaching vacancies. We have a bunch of teams, man. We have a bunch of teams that have opened. About 30% of NFL head coaching jobs are open. I think it's about 9 of 10 of them.
9 or 10 for sure. I'm trying to count. I'm getting old, so my eyesight ain't what it used to be, but it look like 9.
It's about 30% of the league is open. Granted, they have the outliers like Las Vegas and New Orleans, but we also have these teams that keep circulating in every year, a couple years in the NFL hiring process. Don't make no sense. Let's start with them as far as this clump of teams that are just constantly trying to get head coaches and are filling in the people who are not head coaches. What do you think, or how do you think anybody have anybody found their savior if what they're looking for? I don't know what they're looking for because they're not looking for head coaches. Have anybody sparked your interest?
You want me to tell you what sparks my interest?
Go
you
ahead.
Want me to tell you what sparks my interest? What's crazy?
Yeah.
This is the crazy part. So everybody just heard what you just said. There are teams that are always in this situation, and then you got a couple outliers. Who'd you say the outliers were? The Raiders and the Saints, right?
Raiders,
Those are the outliers.
Yeah.
I could
throw the Vikings in there too.
Throw them in there. It still fits exactly what I'm finna say. If you look on here and you look at, this is the list you put together, and this was a list I'm sure that you fact check. Everybody know Chris ain't gonna he ain't gonna put no wrong stuff on here if he can help it. So we know that this list is accurate. The Miami Dolphins have interview requests from 49ers, Mike McDaniel. And listen, it's long-winded, but I'm going somewhere. Mike McDaniels, Vance Joseph, Kellen Moore, Leslie Frazier, and Thomas Brown. That's the Dolphins, right? Now, one of the teams that never is on this list, their interview requests, Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich, Aaron Glenn, and the coach that they already have in Dennis Allen. Why do none of the names match? None of the names match. Why do none of the names match? You can do it with your Vikings one. Let me make sure. No, the Vikings got Kellen Moore on there, so that name does cross over. But then the Raiders didn't even interview anybody. They just knew who they want. None of the names, like how you didn't even interview request the guy that they hired. Yeah. How don't you interview request a Dennis Allen who's shown year after year to have these type of defenses? Eric Bieniemy, a Byron Leftwich. I don't see why these names, especially when you look at the Texans. The Texans don't, none of the people that they, and I don't mean to, in no disrespect to these people, I shouldn't get it. If somebody were to interview me for an NFL job, you should say worse things about me if you're a Josh McCown. If somebody were to interview me, Josh McCown should say worse things about me than I'm going to say about him. But Josh McCown does have to realize he shouldn't be interviewing for an NFL head coach job. What are we doing?
A head coach job?
This is the thing. You should never, unless you hire somebody on the spot, like how it seemed like the Raiders did with Josh McDaniels, right? You shouldn't be the only one that interviews him. He should be, unless you hire him on the spot, he should have had a lot of interviews. Like how you the only motherfucker that interview the head coach? Like, you the only one that wanted him to be your head coach out of 9 openings. You the only person to interview Josh McCown. You wasting time. You're not being serious with this process. Like, straight up, bro. You're not being serious with this process. And that's what I take away when I look at this. Because I'm like, the teams that are good, their interview requests don't even match. They don't have no overlap.
That's a great point. I ain't gonna lie to you. That is a great point. I think these bottom feeding teams, they do the formality about who they interview. They're gonna try to meet the Rooney rule, and we're gonna touch that about how crazy what we got going on with our black coaches. Sure. But they try to meet the certain formalities and then hire who they wanted to from jump. But it's like, why are y'all hiring the people that you're saying? Like, I don't get why. Even I could throw the Vikings, like they make some suspect decisions at times. Why are you hiring Kevin McConnell when he don't call the plays? He do not call them. He don't call the plays. So it's like I think
he worked with Kirk Cousins though.
He worked with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, back in Washington, you know how
I don't care if he worked with a Kirk
I agree.
Cousins.
You know, hey, Kirk Cousins,
yeah,
you know I'm with you.
Nah, I
feel that's what I read.
I feel what you're saying, but at the same time, if you're going to bring in the offensive coordinator, wouldn't you want him to be coordinating the offense? You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't get what the offensive coordinator do if I have an offensive minded head coach. I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie and say that I understand it.
Besides, where did O'Connell come from?
I think he came from the Rams.
So that's my O'Connell point. There ain't no way.
That's my point. You know what I mean? Like, because we know Sean McVay is going crazy on his offense. I'm pretty sure he came from the Rams, but how do these names just pop up? And it's like, dang, okay, we're getting McConnell. You know what I mean? Jags, Giants, y'all are keep doing the same kind of situations. The Jags are hiring people like Urban Meyer. It's like, okay, I guess that didn't work out. We're gonna fire him mid-season. Let's hire Doug Peterson, which I'm not terribly mad at, but if you're not even gonna give people a chance to define themselves before firing them, like they keep a year or two. Oh, it's time for him to get out of here. You don't have a good roster. It's very rare that a team looking for a coach have a good roster. We've seen it with the Rams with Jeff Fisher. He's just a terrible coach. I'm sorry to say to the people, Jeff Fisher is just a terrible coach. That if a Sean McVay could come in and then change the whole organization around with the same team, you don't really have that often. The Jags, I can tell you.
Really though, this time it is though.
Nah, bro, it's not. It's not. They just
the
have
Jags. The Jags and the Giants, the only trash teams. I'm saying, like, everybody else at least decent. The Texans. The Texans ain't.
We got the Texans. We got the Dolphins were decent because of how they turned it around. You know,
that nigga said they was decent because of their coach, and they fired him.
I don't get it.
I was decent because of the coach. Y'all fired.
I don't get y'all. It's like what? One that lost 6 games in a row, and then won 6 games in a row. Come on, bro. And you fired the coach after he barely missed a playoff. Come on. I'm gonna come back to that, but you know they have the Bears. I don't understand that one either. Matt Nagy, when he first got that, I want to say he won a coach of the year. How you go from, and that was a few years ago. How you go from having a coach of the year? And honestly, if he didn't pick Justin Fields, we don't believe in Justin Fields. We think that he should have got a fair opportunity, but we don't believe in him, you know, being that franchise quarterback. But if Matt Nagy didn't say that's my guy, and y'all threw him with another trial like you did Mitch Trubisky, why are y'all condemning that man? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that don't make sense to
me. Yeah, I didn't agree with the Matt Nagy firing either, because I felt like the Bears, they, like you said, I hope Justin Fields improves, but we know this year he just wasn't it. He just didn't have it this year, and he was a rookie. Either way, he was a rookie. You don't draft a quarterback and then fire the coach after a quarterback's rookie year, in my opinion, because it's like, unless you drafted Cam Newton, he's not going to be that good.
That's very true. And then you
I
hire,
shouldn't say he's not gonna be that good, but he's gonna make mistakes, like a lot
right.
of mistakes.
Yeah, and then you hire a defensive coordinator, a defensive minded head coach coming from the Colts, and it's like, so we really shifting culture because now we don't know what our offense is gonna be. You know what I mean? Like,
They need to get back to that in Chicago, though. That Chicago needs to get back to that, to having some physicality about themselves, because they're not gonna have a high flying team. It's called the Windy City. Y'all not gonna have a high flying team. Y'all gonna have to ground and pound and do what the 49ers are doing, do what the Tennessee Titans are doing. That stuff works. You can have
I
a physical football team.
I agree, but at the same time, you can't be trying to play both sides of it. Like, commit to something because
Yeah, you do.
you drafted a Justin Fields and thinking that's going to be somebody we're trying to build around. But let's fire the offensive minded head coach, get a defensive minded. So now your defense going to be good. You know what I mean? And it's going to start improving with all the weapons you have. But then it's like,
Right.
what are we doing on offense?
Yeah, well, I don't know what they're gonna do on offense. We're gonna see what they team turn out to be. But like I said, I like they have a good a solid team. So I think that Eberflus is getting a good team. So if he don't do good, that's not because his team is trash. Like, that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Like, some of these, a lot of people do inherit bad teams, but these coaches, Doug Peterson getting a bad team, Brian Daboll getting a bad team, but everybody else.
No. Let's stop right there with it though. Both of them, the Jags and the Giants, right? They both the coaches are getting bad teams. The Jags had 1 year, of course, the Urban Meyer thing, that's an outlier. But the coach before that, the coach before that didn't have long. The Giants, Joe Judge didn't have long. So it's like they're inheriting bad teams. They think because they have a good player, to try to we got to keep our good player. So y'all need to win. That's not how that work. If you are messed up organization from
That
the
is
top,
true.
it's gonna trickle down, my man. You know what I mean? So that's my problem with those type of teams. The Broncos too. Like, they really haven't had a coach since John Fox. Like, Vance Joseph was decent, but like a real winning coach since John Fox. But then they just going through. I don't know what they're doing. Honestly, I don't know what they're doing.
They got it. You do. I do agree with you on that. You do have to get a culture. Let somebody come in, go through the growing pains of getting their stuff together, and then making it happen. Because I don't know what a Nathaniel Hackett is, but I guess we gonna
Bro,
see.
are you ready for that one? That's Green Bay offensive coordinator.
I think this is a perfect time to jump into the Rooney Rule.
Go ahead,
I
hit it
think that's
out.
what we're getting at right now. I think this is a perfect time to jump into the Rooney Rule,
Yeah,
because we having some things going on in the NFL. We got Brian Flores interviewing for jobs that are already filled, interviewing for vacancies that aren't vacant,
ooh.
and then you have people like Kevin O'Connell, Nathaniel Hackett getting, jobs, and you'd be wondering, like, how? I understand. I can understand the day ball. I can, because the Bills, the
Right.
Bills offense do their thing. I can completely understand that. I don't believe in Josh Allen, but that ain't got nothing to do with Brian Daboll and what he been doing as a
For
coach.
sure.
So
For sure.
yeah, but Nathaniel Hackett,
Kevin
I just can't
O'Connell.
go with that one. Kevin
Kev,
O'Connell, I can't go with those ones, because especially Kevin O'Connell, because he don't call the plays.
what do you do?
He don't call the plays. And not saying that these guys won't be good coaches. That's not the point. I know that I'm not trying to make. I'm not saying that Kevin O'Connell is a bad coach. I'm not saying that Nathaniel Hackett is a bad coach. I'm saying that we know for a fact that Brian Flores is a good coach.
Right.
And so I don't see how you don't bring in him for an interview, like at least an interview.
No, F that. I think we passed that, dog. Like, I'm about to sound off on it. The Rooney Rule had good intentions, but with any smart, successful, and wealthy people, they're gonna get around it. Taxes, any type of rules set in place, they're gonna get around. So when you have this formality, to just bring in a head coach. Honestly, unless they really think they're going to get that job, start turning these things down. Really turn them things down because it have no it's not good for you. It's not good for the league. There's no reason
Right.
that these players and these coaches should have to go through that type of situation. What Kevin O'Connell, Nathaniel Hackett, getting these jobs, not even calling it plays. You're not even doing what you assigned to do, but because you're under somebody, why are we getting these jobs when there's a good coach with head coach experience?
That's how I go though, and that's how I go. And then what's crazy is what is the most crazy, most crazy, bro, is
EB.
It's like selective. It's selective because I think that everybody would say the most prolific offense that maybe you have ever seen, like, is the Kansas City Chiefs, and the person that calls the plays for them gets no love. So it's selective. I could understand if you say, hey man, we usually take the top offensive coordinator each year and he gets the head coaching job. He happens to be white. Okay, cool.
That's cool.
That makes sense. But this time he not. And now all of a sudden the pattern, not now the top offensive coordinator all of a sudden isn't the head coach. Maybe now we gonna pick, offense number 3, offense number 4. Everybody, well, the Rams going to the Super Bowl, so yeah, they coaching staff. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs done won a Super Bowl and been to 2 more. So it started to be like, all right, that's not the reason. Yeah, it's not what people are producing on the field.
I wonder what the difference is from a Nathaniel, from a Kevin, and from an EB. The only
maybe they're younger.
You know what I mean? Like what are we doing? The only thing I can see is EB does his job better. He calls the plays and set up, with Andy Reid, set up a great offense. I can't say the other two did those things because they don't call the plays. They're under people that do. So what are you doing? I'm honestly asking the people, what are these two people doing that EB isn't? And for the standpoint of they're getting jobs, they're getting head coaching jobs, bro. It don't make no sense. And I think I heard they said EB doesn't interview well. Doesn't interview well? I mean, what
bro,
are y'all?
I'm not hiring him to interview.
I'm not doing that. Y'all giving him a standardized test. I don't care how he interviews. You've seen the product. I don't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not hiring you to interview. I wouldn't care how you interview. If I'm not hiring you to interview, it don't matter. Can you coach football? Hey, a football coach, bro. Like they gotta. We're moving to a space in football where I don't think we really even want to go, with it being, going in the direction of not being, as physical as it is, and people talking about how good he interviews. And bro, what are we talking about?
Why is that something that we've been worried
with a football
about?
Coach?
With a football coach. The crazy thing is I wanted to give accolades and all of this because it's transitioning into more players being coaches, what it should be. If I have, experience on this field and I'm good, even though every good player don't have to be a coach, you could be a bad player, whatever, but you understand the X's and O's. That's cool. Like if people at home, if you sit at your desk job and you do whatever in a corporate America, a white collar job, right? And all these people are up for a management position, but then they bring out somebody outside who don't have any experience in this field, you're going to feel some type of way. These players should be having these jobs, but the best of people that's doing it, like EB, who was also a player turned coach, should be up for these head coaching jobs, not just grabbing names out there and then wondering why we keep turning. Like I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. That's why I hope EB come home, come to New Orleans. Hate that Sean left. I hate that, he had to be sent off. That hurt. But I think it would be a great fit Come back to your roots, man. Come back to your roots and show them what's up.
That's your pitch.
That's my pitch to him. Come back. Even though then I would like a Dennis Allen to be the coaches for the Nucleus to stay together. EB's interviewing as we speak. I hope he leave with a job. Even though I think Dennis Allen will get the job just for, obvious reasons. But come on, EB, come home.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's a good pitch. I like your pitch. So that'll be a perfect segue into the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, the reason why y'all are able to interview him as we speak is because the Bengals advanced to the Super Bowl to play the Los Angeles Rams in LA a week from today. I think maybe almost exactly a week from today, down to the minute. But they will be playing a week from today, man. What you think about this? How you thinking this one gonna go?
Bengals. Nobody, I don't care if you're a Bengals fan, nobody predicted this. Nobody saw that they were going to come out the AFC, represent the AFC.
Well, your money would have been right if you did, though.
Your money would be golden. If you bet on that, your money, you're man, look, you're a million times your money. I didn't think they were ready. It's one game now. It's one game. That's all they got to do. And if I was a betting man, even though they're underdogs, I wouldn't mind going with the Bengals. Just because.
Who you going with, man? Get off the goddamn fence. Who you going with? Get off the darn fence. I'm stopping cussing. Get off the darn fence.
This man say darn. Start cursing. I don't ever want you to say darn.
Get off the darn fence.
Listen, I have to go through the analysis of it. Bengals, man. The Rams, man. The Rams, they all in. Honestly, they all in because they don't believe in cap. They want to build their team to win and win now. I love this matchup. I love this matchup, man. I think it's a good Super Bowl matchup. Exciting one. I think it's going to be, a little bit high flying. But, Rams have everything stacked in their favor. The Bengals have a weak offensive line. Then Rams have a strong defensive line. Bengals have a great receiver. Rams got a great cornerback. Man, there's two good quarterbacks.
What you going to do?
I'm going to go with my heart. And I'm going to pick the Bengals.
You going with the Bengals?
I think they're going to go ahead and win. Joe Burrow going to be the first player to win the Heisman, win a Natty, and win a Super Bowl.
Best football player ever if he does it.
Oh, goddamn, bro. Shit, let that man get about 8 of them. Imagine that. What you say about it, though?
I don't think he's gonna get one this year, but I do think that he is gonna rack up some Super Bowl, like plural amount of Super Bowl. I think this year the Rams are loaded. Like they don't always show up to perform and like they need to, but I don't think that they're easily beatable. I think they, like you said, do their strengths are the Rams' weaknesses, or they at least counteract. So, like the best thing about the Bengals is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. The best thing about the Rams is Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So that counteracts. At the very least, I would say that the Rams have better players right now at those positions. I think maybe next year or the year after that, I don't think that's gonna be the case. Because Jamar Chase is just a rookie. Like I forgot that until I was doing the what you call, because I didn't see him last year for LSU because he sat out. So since I didn't see him in an LSU uniform, I don't know. I guess I just assumed, but he's just a rookie. And he didn't play football last year. So, and this is what you get right now. So, I think that's gonna be scary soon. It's already scary, but it's gonna be scarier soon. But so right now I'm going with the Rams. I think that their players are right in the middle of their prime as opposed to at the beginning. But I wouldn't, if the Bengals came out winning, I wouldn't be surprised or sad. I wouldn't be either one because I think the Bengals are really good. I just think that right now the Rams are they too good. Like
I agree.
they too good.
Bro, when I say I agree, it's just because it's like when you just think about everything. The Rams are gonna since the last time they've been to the Super Bowl, the controversial time, and then got handled. Sean McVay not trying to have that again. I feel like he gonna try to run it up, especially when I'm saying who is the weak point of the Bengals defense. I'm gonna circle that man Eli Apple, and I'm gonna attack.
I'm sure he got to guard somebody. Like, think about this: Eli Apple is either gonna guard Cooper Kupp or Odell.
It's gonna be bad business, dog.
Probably be a lot of zone. What we getting at is probably a lot of zone.
I'm excited to see this matchup. I think the Rams should handle the Bengals, but it's like since the Bengals, I'm gonna go with my heart because the Bengals are so young, and it's like when they don't have anything, like, Brian, let's just go out here and do this. Forget it. Let's, you know what I mean? Don't have no structure to anything. Don't have anything to just really be weighing them down. You never know what can happen. It just take a turnover. It take momentum. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it can happen because the Bengals ain't somebody you could just let hang around. They got a solid defense. Obviously, they got a good offense. They got a good running game. We just got to see if, honestly, I think it's on if they offensive line show up. Yeah. Offensive line show up, I think it's going to be a really, really good game, like real good game. If the offensive line don't show up, then I think it's not going to be a good game. The Rams will run away with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think they could run away with it easy. That's why it's so hard to really decipher because I don't know what that O-line coach did from the first with the wild card round to the divisional, to the AFC. It's like, wow, this offensive line kind of, have some type of form to them instead of getting Joe killed.
Right. That's what I got it on.
Yeah.
I got it on now. The offensive line of the Bengals and Matthew Stafford for the Rams, the quarterback of the Rams. If Matthew Stafford come to play, I think if Matthew Stafford comes to play, I think the Bengals lose. The Bengals offensive line come to play and Matthew Stafford doesn't, then I think the Bengals will win. But if Matthew Stafford come to play, I think that trumps all in the Rams will win.
I think he will. Honestly, I really think. I don't think he's fazed by much of anything. You know what I mean? As far as his play, I think.
Well, we don't know because we ain't never seen him in this type of situation. So, I mean, take that as you will. Is that good or is that bad? But we don't know.
Man, I believe in, especially seeing him throughout the playoffs and everything. Matthew Stafford, he just needed an opportunity. He got an opportunity.
I'm picking him.
And shining. I feel you.
You trying to sway me? I'm picking him. He talking to me like, you read my script, bro. Get my script.
Hey, listen, but I just know from your standpoint, before Matthew Stafford got there, he was like, I don't know if he's that guy. Before the playoffs and stuff, I don't know if he's that guy.
His name is Matt. I'm going against the whole rule here, but they real good.
They're too good, bro. They are too good.
They stack, bro.
That's the thing. If they don't win the Super Bowl against a Bengals team, how do you think? Do they blow it up? Like, what happens at that point?
Oh, they ain't got no choice because of salary cap. But
they don't believe
also one thing though, before we go, I gotta say, how crazy would it be? You got Ohio team, Cleveland, not Cleveland, Cincinnati. That's not Cleveland, but Cincinnati, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And then you had the Cavs in Ohio came to play a stacked team out of Golden State, same exact colors, which is crazy. Same in California. Nobody thought that they could win, and they won. LeBron James. He was born in Ohio, raised in Ohio, came back, got him a championship that they ain't had in a life. We just say they first time ever in our life, and that'll be the same thing for Cincinnati. That'll be a crazy story. Now, I don't put this on camera, so I want anybody who produces anything correlating to this, I want my cut. because I ain't heard this nowhere else. And I know that that's a good correlation. I want my cut.
Hey, are you saying then Joe Burrow equals LeBron James?
What I'm saying is I can't say that he's not at this point.
Hey, we
like before the
it.
season, I would say that he's not, but from what he done showed me, I wouldn't say that he is, but I can't be like, hell no, he not.
Listen, we're excited to see this game. We definitely gonna keep y'all updated. We're excited to see what happens in the NFL with these coaches, NBA with the trade deadline. Just keep it tuned in because we're gonna keep y'all, the people, updated. Follow us Instagram, right? Follow us TikTok, right? Listen to us on their favorite streaming platform, man. Listen, we your boys. Come kick it with us. We gonna produce the information. You hear me?
Every time.
Appreciate y'all every time. Appreciate y'all for checking out with us. And we out.